I've had a lot of things contribute to the success I've achieved throughout my life. But when people ask me what inspired me, there's usually only one person who comes to mind. That would be my grandmother, Dear. One of the coolest things is that we shared the same birthday. Dear would make frequent trips to our home in Mississippi from Maryland, and I was immensely close to her. This could be because my mom always gave more attention to my older brother Paul Jr. and left me to figure out things on my own. But that's not a big deal. My mother was still a wonderful one, and I loved her very much. On the days she came to visit, we would bury ourselves in projects. Projects that involved crayons and art, paper and paint, and any other supplies we could muster up. My grandmother was so amazing with the pencil. It was like anything she had in her head could just come to life right in front of my eyes. I wanted to be like that, and she was always there supporting me. She encouraged me to draw all the time, and when I did, it was always pictures of monsters that always had a smile and were funnier than scary. I also did a lot of drawings of funny little birds that were in my head from all the bird watching I did. It was in these early years of sketching that I would be able to build the understanding of how you place the eyes could express emotion, or that a certain kind of line for a mouth could show a character being sad, or happy, or even frustrated. This would later become one of the sole characteristics for creating my Muppets. But all that was thanks to Deer. Deer was also amazing at more than just painting and drawing. She was fantastic at crafts, woodwork, carving, sculpting, and she was particularly good with thread and needle. Deer could sew anything, it didn't matter what it was. Give her some thread and a needle, and she would get it done. She had all of these skills up her sleeve, and she loved spending time doing any one of them. It is one thing to know how to do something, it is something else entirely to have a love and enthusiasm of doing them. That is where creating goes from being ordinary to being extraordinary. The best part of it all, though, was that she passed all of this on to me, and she supported these same talents she saw coming out of me. Dear was the one who encouraged me and watched me. She pulled stories out of me, and we shared a bond over our humor. We loved being funny. Telling jokes and making puns was time well spent between the two of us. Reading was another huge part of who my grandmother was, and it was an activity she invested time in getting me to do. Whether it was reading a novel or the comics in the newspaper, reading was reading, and it was important to her, so it became important to me. She was in fact my teacher, audience, critic, and the one who taught me to have my own self-worth, to have confidence, and that I could be anything I wanted to be, no matter what.